I think this is kind of typical of a trans person, but I feel like sometimes there's pain in the body that you don't really know. It's like there's shame in that part of you that hurts. Have you ever felt shame for a part of your body where you felt like it wasn't normal or it wasn't right, or there's just a part of you that was afraid of showing it? In the setting where you're naked and you are having an intimate experience with someone, this is where it kind of comes up the most. And especially if you're trans, this can really add up. I dated cis man, and we are boyfriend and girlfriend now. But there was a part in this process that I want to share with you that I think was transformative for me, and wanted to kind of get you to think about this as well. So here's what was happening. We've been dating for like a month and a half, maybe close to 2 months, and we've had sex and we've had sexual experiences, but he's never touched this part down here. He's never put his hand in this area. And to be honest, I think he was a little afraid. He didn't really want to touch it for his own fears of what that could mean. Now, the reason why I dated him was because he's straight. And more importantly, he treats and sees me like a woman at the deepest, deepest level. But for some reason, the genitalia part hadn't been completely processed for him. And so the way that he managed his experience to see me as a woman and to engage with me as a woman was not to touch it, to ignore it, to not experience it at all. Now, I didn't mind this because of all people that I've had sexual experiences with, he is the best. He's the one where he's on top of me and I'm looking up at him and I feel like I can just open and expand my heart and just open up like a butterfly. I call him the butterfly opener. I call him my prince. I'm his princess. And I feel this part within me that can really just be as vulnerable and as open as I possibly could. Because all of this fear, and I don't know if you've had this before, but if you are trans, you probably do. There is fear in completely opening up and letting go, because there's so much friction in your own experience of what you have to go through to even get as far as you are where you are right now. There is a part that has struggle and holds on to some of that struggle and some of that pain. Where is that within your body? Do you feel parts of you that are tense? Do you feel parts of you that just don't want to be seen? Are there things within you that you're just ashamed? For me, this was becoming kind of the focal point down here, the bottom area, because we never talked about it. We talked about it once. And the conversation went along the lines of, I'm not going to touch that because, I don't know. What do you mean? But here's where the transformation happened. We had a experience one night where we were especially vulnerable and connected. And we set an intention in this space to connect on a deeper level, where we were going to build more trust together. And we were in that typical situation where he's laying on top and I'm below. We're both naked. And he's on my boobs. And he typically goes there, and I like him touching my boobs. But I said this to him. I said, go ahead and touch whatever body parts that you want. Touch whatever you want and touch stuff that you usually don't touch. Now, I didn't say, touch me down there, and I wasn't even necessarily thinking about it. But he said, what do you mean, like down here? And he slid his hand down, and he just touched my pelvic area and started to move his fingers around in the muscles of that area. And suddenly, I felt all of this tension, this feeling within me that had been built up, the shame, the guilt for what I had down there, all of this started to move. It was like it was stuck in this kind of like tough position, like concrete. And this is kind of like energetic stuff. This is where your baggage, your thought forms, they materialize in parts in your body and they turn into solid like concrete, solid rock. They solidify. Do you know what I mean? Are there parts within you that you feel like tense, or you feel like you've had body trauma, or you feel like you store your stress or pain? These are those parts. And his continual ignoring, and also all of my own experience of being trans and all of the mistreatment as a trans woman, it kind of got bottled up and stuck there. And so when he touched me in that vulnerable state, it released something. It moved up my body. It got shared with him in this experience where we catalyzed and alchemized and processed and moved through, and suddenly my body could fully embrace and accept him. And now that one part of me that was not with him was with him. And it opened up in such a way where I felt a blooming and expansion of our connection to finally say, and I said this to him, I said, now you have all of me. Because there's that one part that I was holding back. And so I wanted to share this story with you because this is something that I think not everyone acknowledges, not everyone's aware of. There are parts of your body that you are ashamed of, that you may feel fear of. And sometimes it's good to just find that. Where is that within you? To massage it, to give it space, to touch it, to acknowledge it, to give it love and presence, and just say, you know what? I love you. You're a part of me. Now, I know for some trans people, they don't want the bottom, the genitalia that they have. And I get the idea of accepting that can also be frightening. Because if I'm saying, help yourself accept the part that you don't want, then that calls into question, should I, I don't know if I want to accept that because I want to get rid of it. But I think that there's this middle ground, this place that we can all have where we can accept our bodies by saying, I love you and I accept you. And also have that ability to know, you're not right for me and I know what is right for me and I'm going to change that. But even if that's not being changed right now, I can love and accept it right now rather than see it as just this body part of me is just a checklist item that I need to change, and then I'll accept myself. I think you can accept yourself now and also be willing to change yourself later. And I think that's the middle path. That's the sacred path to really finding a deeper level of satisfaction and acceptance in yourself. Because if you can move through this pain, if you can evolve in this way, in this relationship with your body, you're going to change and you're going to help yourself set yourself up for the future. I'm Ashley Adamson. Thank you for joining me today. If you'd like to support me, check out my Patreon page and join the Discord community that I have down below for people who are transitioning. I'll see you in another episode soon. Bye.